Today, we're just going to go with the flow. So, if we haven't met, I'm Jennifer Elliott, and this is VinYin or Vinyasa in Yin. And today's practice is learning to let go, go with the flow. So, we're going to be doing a lot of vinyasas like Surya C or my version of it, Surya A, Surya B, and just sort of working dynamic movements and then holding some static poses. So, building a little heat, being a little less concerned with alignment, and just trying to have fun and get our bodies moving. So that's the goal. We'll go ahead and get started. So start on your back, and just Shavasana is fine, whatever you're comfortable with. I'm going to keep my knees bent just because that feels nice on my back. I'm going to take my feet a little wider, knees falling into one another. So the palms are open. The eyes are closed. Just take a few moments to bring your attention into this space. And as we think about fluidity, movement, notice that even though you're lying still, there's this sort of illusion of being still. There's movement happening. Your breath is moving, your ribs and belly are moving to accommodate the breath. Blood, the lymph is moving in the body. And even the thoughts create this rhythm, this movement within. Because we're much more movement than we are stillness. So really learning to embrace. It's through that movement and change that we find awakening. So let's allow ourselves to embrace that change, that movement. And just continue to move the breath in and out through the nose. Maybe you're cultivating Ujjayi breath. And if you have your own intention, set it here. Take an inhale and reach the arms overhead. Interlace your fingers, turn your palms open. Maybe there's a good yawn here. Bring the arms back overhead. Change the interlace. Reach back behind you again. Maybe you yawn again. Pull the knees into the chest. Wrap your arms around the knees. Curl your forehead up. Nice tight squeeze. Let the shoulders relax. And then lower your head to the floor. Take your hands onto your knees. Cup your knees. Fingertips face your toes. Pull the knees into your chest. Push the knees away from your chest. Pull and push a couple of times. And then the next time you push the knees away from you, split them apart and circle them around. So push, split, and circle the knees. Do this a couple of times, just creating some movement in the hip joints. And then the next time the knees come together, pull them towards you, split and circle the other way. So pull, split, and circle. And just get that movement in the hip joints. Find yourself at center. Take your arms out to the sides. I'm actually going to give myself a little bit more room because we're going to move into a dynamic twist. So drop your knees to the left. Knees are going to come quite close to the chest. And then roll all the way over to the left so you're lying with palm over palm. Inhale, send the right arm overhead to the right, and then exhale, bring it back. So dynamic twist. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. All right, inhale, open, and then just let the arm rest down to the floor. You can look in any direction that feels good on your neck, but just take a couple of breaths here. Maybe peel the left shoulder blade out from underneath you. Engage your thighs, come through center, drop your knees to the right. Bring your left arm with you, so you're all the way on your right side in fetal position. And then left arm, inhale, open it up into your twist. Exhale, close it up like a book. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Pause there. Couple of breaths. Again, you can peel the right shoulder blade out from underneath you, whichever direction you'd like the neck to look. And a couple of breaths. Slowly return to center. Take your hands under your knees. Rock yourself forward and back, or however it makes sense for you to come all the way up to seated. Okay, so find your way up to seated. You can just cross it comfortably at the ankles, whatever is working for you. And then take your hands out to the sides. Just put them next to you on the ground, fingertips touching the floor. And as you bring your fingertips to the sides, sit as tall as you can. Bring the right arm overhead and then just tip over to the left. Get a nice good stretch. You can look up under the right armpit. And then bring your right hand down, left arm up. Same thing on this side. Tip over. And then add your dynamic movement. So inhale and exhale. Inhale to center. Exhale to the side. So just do a couple rounds on your own. We'll do a lot of dynamic movement. One more on each side. And then find your way to center. Lean back, switch the cross of the ankles. Take your hands on your knees. Inhale, pull the chest forward, and exhale, round it back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale forward, pull the chest through, and start to make circles. So I like to close the eyes so you're not really worried about how you look, it's how you feel. So when we do these dynamic movements, we're just learning to connect to the feeling body. And then take your circle the other direction. Find your breath. One more round. Maybe blink the eyes open and return. Okay, nice job. Find your way to hands and knees. Table pose. Spread wide through the fingers. Bring your knees underneath your hips. Root through the palms. Take an inhale and pull your chest forward as you reach the tailbone back. Exhale, round the spine and draw the navel in. Inhale, heart forward, navel lifts up as the tail reaches back. Exhale and round. One more cat-cow like that, and then we're going to add on. Inhale, chest lifts. Exhale, round the spine. This time press all the way back to child's pose. Hips to heels. Walk the hands out in front of you. We're not going to be here very long. If you need padding for under the knees or in between the knees, go for it. But we're going to continue with this dynamic movement. Inhale, come to hands and knees. Lift the heart, gaze up. Exhale, tuck the toes. Lift from the hips and take a mild down dog. Now this first one, let's pedal out the feet. Bend one knee, then the other. Maybe swivel side to side. Just get some movement. And then return on an inhale to hands and knees. Lift the heart, gaze up. Exhale, round the spine and shift back, child's pose. And we'll make this a flow now. Inhale, hands and knees, lift the heart. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. And finish your breath so you can slow the breath down and slow the movement down. Inhale, hands and knees, lift the heart, gaze up. Exhale, round, child's pose. Let's do a couple more of these on our own. Just follow your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more on your own. And then find your way back up. Hands and knees, lift the heart. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here so we do these dynamic movements and then we just enjoy the stillness. We see how we feel. If you're creating a little bit of movement, a little bit of heat. And gaze up, bend the knees, step or lightly hop top of the mat. Inhale, pull the chest forward, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale up halfway, shift forward out of the heels. Exhale, fold. Inhale up halfway. Place your hands on your hips, elbows to the sky. Lead with the heart. Come all the way up to stand. Okay, so you're at the top of your mat. Big toes touch. A little bit of space between your heels. Arms by your sides, palms open. So we're going to move into a version of Surya C, my version of it, at least today's version. So feet are together. Arms are by your sides. Take an inhale. Reach the arms forward and up. Palms press. Navel and up as you gaze up. Exhale, forward fold, soften the knees on the way down. Inhale up halfway, chest forward. Exhale, step the right foot back and bring the knee down. Inhale, arms rise, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, hands down. Inhale the left knee back and stay on the knees if you'd like as you exhale and lower, elbows hug the body. Inhale, lift the heart, low cobra, navel in. Exhale, release. Let's do that again. Inhale, low cobra, navel in, and release. Press up and back. Find child's pose. Inhale, hands and knees, and exhale, down dog. Let's take a couple of breaths here to see how that dynamic movement settles into the body. Inhale, the right leg lifts, and exhale, step it forward next to the right thumb tip. Release the back knee down. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands down. Straighten the back legs, step forward, top of the mat. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise, palms press, navel in and up. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll do that on the other side, changing it a bit. Inhale, arms forward and up, Utthita Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, the left leg steps back, drop the knee down, and inhale, arms rise, Anjaneyasana. This time, bring your hands to your heart, twist to the right elbow over the knee. Just take a couple of breaths here, breathe. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. So even though it's not the dynamic movement like we thought of earlier, do it dynamically. Inhale, re-lengthen your spine. Exhale, twist from your center. One more breath. Slowly unwind. Hands down. As you bring the front knee back, you can stay on your knees or come to plank. Shift forward and lower, elbows in. Inhale, cobra, or maybe up dog, whatever feels right for you, navel in either way. Exhale, down dog, where you can come through that child's pose as we did before. Take a breath here. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step it next to the left thumb tip. Back knee drops. Inhale, arms rise, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, hands to the heart, twist to the left, elbow over the knee. Dynamically work the breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Take a couple of breaths on your own. Dynamic doesn't always have to be these big sort of outwardly visual movements. They can be smaller, more internal. Slowly unwind, hands down. Pick up the back leg, step forward as you forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Root to rise. Inhale, arms reach forward and up all the way to the sky. Palms press. And exhale, hands to heart. Close the eyes, thumbs against the breast line. Take a moment and just feel the heartbeat. Feel that movement from within. Even in this illusion of stillness, you may even notice your body sways a little bit. So even when we feel still, there's movement. Release the hands, blink the eyes open. We move to more of a classic Surya Namaskar, Sun Salute A. We'll change it a little bit. So inhale, take the arms out to the sides. Palms up, bring them to the top to meet. Exhale, forward fold, hinge from the hips. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, this first one, step to plank and pause. You're always welcome to be on your knees. Tip forward, lower halfway chaturanga, hold. And some of you will go to the floor, some of you will scrub the toes back, flip over them and find your upward facing dog. Lift up and back, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. This can always be child's pose. And even here, this illusion of stillness, find that dynamic breath. So almost like you're riding the breath like you're riding a wave. So inhale, feel the breath lift up through the back body. And exhale, feel it ground you down. So inhale, rising up on the breath. Exhale, grounding down. Take another one. Inhale, high to your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, step or hop, top of the mat. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Arms to the sides, rise, palms press, navel in and up. Exhale, hands to heart. Round 2, just the same. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. If you'd like, exhale, jump chaturanga. Otherwise, step, plank, and lower. Move through your vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Couple of breaths. So again, remember today's theme is sort of going with the flow. So even if I give you these movements and sort of tell you where to go, you're listening to your own flow. So you might totally go a different direction with these. You might find yourself on your own little journey. Come high to the toes, bend your knees, step or hop, top of the mat. Inhale up halfway, exhale, fold. Root to rise, reach the arms to the sky, palms press, and exhale, hands to heart. Okay, so let's take 3 rounds on our own. Surya A, classic, or maybe just make it up if something else feels better for you. So we'll meet in our 3rd downward facing dog. You can skip any of those vinyasas you'd like. So make it up or work more classic Surya A, your choice. Three to 5 breaths in these down dogs, or maybe they're child's pose. Anyway, 1 more round. Our next down dog. Keep forgetting my mat's not sticky on that side, or it is sticky. Okay, so let's find our way into down dog. Put the knees on the ground. And let's just shift back for a moment into child's pose. Couple of breaths. Feel the heartbeat. Slow it down. And find your way back to down dog. Inhale, the right leg lifts, and exhale, step it to the center of the hands. Drop the back heel down, come on up, warrior 2. Okay, so sink into your lunge, front heel, back arch alignment. Take a few moments here just getting set up into your pose. And then inhale, reverse it. Left arm behind the back, right arm reaches high. Exhale, side angle, elbow to the thigh, left arm over. Kind of similar to what we did in the beginning. Inhale, reverse. You can always straighten up the front leg if it needs a break. And exhale, side angle. Okay, so continue this on your own. Just find that little dancer's warrior. Find movement within. A couple more. And again, don't be afraid to change it up. Be the change you'd like to see. All right, so let's end in our last side angle. Take a couple of breaths here. Just really reach up through the fingertips, find length in the spine, lengthen the underside. Inhale, reverse again. Exhale to the floor, right hand down, follow with the left. Stop in your lunge. Left hand on the floor or block, right arm reaches to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, sweep it underneath. Inhale, reach. Exhale, sweep. Inhale, reach. Stay there. And you can stay in this pose or come to the outside edge of the back foot and just cross that front leg in front of you. So not a full side plank, but more modified. And then you can stay here or send that right arm over. And then drop down through your hips as you release the right hand back. Inhale over. Exhale behind and sink in. So again, just explore. Something else might come to you. Go with the flow. Where does your body want to go? One more. And then come up, bring the hands around, find your way into plank. Take a vinyasa, a set of push-ups, or right to down dog. Inhale, the left leg lifts, and exhale, step it between the hands. Drop the back heel down. Come on up, warrior two. Take a moment to get set up. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Or do what you did on the first side if you changed it up. Inhale, reverse. Some of you straightened up that front leg. Exhale, side angle. So take a few rounds on your own. What did you do on side one? Or maybe you're completely changing side two. There are no real rules today, which is fun. And then when you get ready, go back into your side and we'll give yourself just a few moments to feel that movement that we created as we find the static pose. Inhale, reverse. Exhale to the floor. Find your way into lunge. Right hand is rooted on floor or block. Left arm reaches to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, sweep it underneath. Inhale, reach. Exhale, sweep. Good. One more on your own. Inhale. And exhale. As you bring the arm up the next time, you can stay here or swivel to the outside edge of the back foot. And this front leg crosses over. So you're just sort of giving yourself a nice support here. You can stay as you are or reach the arm over as you lift the hips. Drop the hand behind as you lower the hips down. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. All right. Inhale, bring it up. Sweep it over. Find your pose and take your vinyasa. Whatever is working for you today. Let's walk our hands back towards our heels. Forward fold at the back of the mat. Heel toe your feet together. Big toes touch. A little bit of space between the heels. Bend your knees, drop your seat. Find chair pose. Find your dristi, something in front of you can use for focus. And then take an inhale, rise with the right leg. And then just guide the knee out to the right, plant it at the inner thigh for tree. Keep your hips forward and then just wrap the right buttock under. Find your pose, hands are up to you, maybe hands at heart or reach them overhead. Couple of breaths here. Some of you may slide your right foot in front of the left knee. Sit back into your chair. Keep the right foot flexed. Find your drishti as you move slow. Find your breath here. Inhale, rise. Bring the right knee up with you. And exhale, sit back chair. Utkatasana. Weight in the heels. Find your drishti. Inhale, rise. Left leg comes with you. You can just guide it over to the left. Plant it for tree and firm that right hip in. Good. Take a few moments. Find your pose. You can use the wall if you'd like. And some of you slid the foot in front of the knee. Sit back slowly. Find your figure 4 chair. Use your breath. Embrace a little bit of movement. It happens. And slowly rise. Left knee in. And sit back chair. Take an inhale. Exhale. Forward fold. Heel toe feet hip width. Gaze up and walk forward. Downward facing dog. Take a few breaths and just settle into our static pose. Inhale, the right leg lifts. Exhale, step it next to the right thumb tip. Stay high on the back toes and inhale, rise. Find your crescent pose. Now take a moment to really sink into the back lunge. So bend the back knee enough that you don't feel like you're leaning, but you can really be up tall here. Find your breath, find length. Take an inhale, lengthen up through the side body. And then exhale, as you tip forward, send the hands behind, straighten out the back leg. Inhale, rise, soften the back knee. Find your balance. Exhale, sweep it back. Inhale, rise. Exhale, sweep. Couple more on your own. Work your breath. Find your balance. Let's find our way all the way up. Sink a little bit deeper into your lunge. Find your breath here. Hands to your heart. Take an inhale. Exhale, twist to the right, elbow over the knee. Lengthen your spine, inhale. Exhale, twist to find your breath. And you can stay or you can even start to open up the arms, pressing out through the back heel. Release. Take an inhale, gaze up, pull the chest forward. Exhale, turn to the left. Find length in your spine, level out your feet, and then bend your left knee back. So as you're at the back of the mat, just bend your left knee. You can walk the fingertips out in front of you, whatever feels good. You might even explore balance, taking the arms out to the sides. Inhale, center. Exhale, bend the right knee at the front of the mat. Hands to sides or out in front of you, whatever feels more natural. Turn back to the front of your mat. Hands on the ground. Step your right leg back into down dog, but let it go all the way up to the ceiling. Open the hip, bend your knee, push your foot behind you, and some of you may feel like flipping the dog. Flip it back over. Add an extra vinyasa if you want it. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step it next to the left thumb tip. Inhale, rise. Come on up, find your crescent lunge. Sink into the hips. Take a couple of breaths here. If you're like me on that first side, it was really hard to get balance in that front foot. So it might be a slightly too long of a stance. So just check out where you're at. Hug the inner thighs together. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, torpedo, tip it forward, reach the arms back. Inhale, rise, bend the back knee. Exhale, sink, swing it back. Find the movement on your own. And then inhale, rise again. Exhale, hands to your heart, twist your left elbow over the knee. Lengthen the spine, press out through the back heel. Now you can stay or open your arms, whatever you did on side one. Release, take an inhale, gaze up. Exhale, turn to the right. Make sure your feet are on the same line. Bend your right knee. Now you can do the same thing you did before, or if you're feeling a little bit more into the legs, you can sink down a little bit deeper. You might even open the arms. Come through center. Bend your left knee at the front of the mat. Again, either version that you took. And release. Turn to the front of your mat. Find your down dog. Left leg sweeping to the ceiling. Open the hip, bend the knee. Maybe flip the dog. Watch out for those props. Find your breath. And return. Downward facing dog or take your vinyasa first. Couple of breaths. Hopefully you feel your heart beating. Feet together. High to your toes. Bend your knees, look forward, step or hop. Top of the mat. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, drop your seat, find chair. Slowly rise. Arms by your sides. Okay, how we doing? So we just still need to work through our Surya Namaskar beat, sun salute beat. And it's about the movement and moving dynamically. For me, it's not so much about the vinyasas. You can add to the vinyasas, you can remove them. Again, let this really be about you just finding some sort of movement. If it's not your body moving, it's your breath at least that's moving. All right, feet together, top of the mat. We'll work slow the first round and then let it be a little bit more classic Surya beat. Take an inhale, sit back chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, step or jump back, vinyasa. Or feel free to skip it. Inhale, step the right foot next to the right thumb tip. Back heel pivots down. Rise, warrior one. And I'm consciously moving my right foot even wider to the right. So technically, inner heel to inner heel alignment, a lot of times it's too much of a tightrope. And since we have the time, I'm going to spend a little longer here. Why not take your stance a little wider? Take your left hand, reach it forward, so far forward you feel that left hip getting involved. Take the arms high. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, just bend at the elbows, open the heart, pull the navel in, gaze up slightly. Inhale, reach, keep the bend in the knee. Exhale, bend the elbows, open the heart. One more, inhale. Exhale. Sweep the hands behind, interlace or hook thumbs. Lift the chest, inhale. Exhale, fold, humble warrior one. So again, not full classic Surya beat, adding on to it. Relax the hands onto the back toes, step to plank. Find your vinyasa, or of course, skip it if you prefer. Left foot steps next to the left thumb tip. Pivot the back heel down. Now, since we're taking time to orient where your feet totally land, we're going to come up, we're going to adjust them. So heel toe left foot a little wider, back toes are turning to the top right corner of the mat, sinking in, arms rise. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bend the elbows, wing them back, lift the chest, navel lifts in as well. Inhale, reach, look forward. Exhale, sink deeper, open the heart. One more, inhale. Exhale. Sweep it back, hook the thumbs, we'll call it left thumb on top or interlace. Lift the chest, inhale. Exhale, humble warrior one. release, step back. Vinyasa or your pose of choice. How we doing? All right, so take a couple of breaths here. I don't know about you, but I'm starting to get warm. We just have one last standing sequence, and then it's all nice yin poses after that. High to the toes, bend your knees, step or hop back. Or hop forward. You can hop back, that's fun. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, drop your seat chair. Slowly rise. Arms by the side. Okay, so this is it. So we're going to do a classic Surya B or do something else. Do whatever you want. Go with the flow. Let yourself move. So I'll talk through a classic Surya B. I'll kind of do most of that, and then you do whatever you'd like if it's not classic B. Inhale, sit back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, vinyasa or right to down dog. Step the right foot forward, Virabhadrasana 1. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Step to plank. Vinyasa, almost done with those. Which is good. I'm not sticking to my mat. Step that left leg forward. Inhale, rise, warrior 1. Exhale, down. Yay, good news. Last vinyasa, take it or don't. Downward facing dog. We did it. Good job. 5 breaths. Actually, we're going to change it up. Let's bring our knees down to the floor, tailbone to the heels, find child's pose. And we're going to make this a yin pose. So I'm going to grab my phone. So I've got a nice little timer here, and I'm going to give you the opportunity if you want to grab any props for under the knees, anything like that. So we're going to take our child's pose where the knees are a little bit wider, the big toes touch, and then we're going to walk the hands off the right side. So you're at a nice angle, but you're going to bend the right elbow, place it underneath that forehead so that you're in a nice side angle in your pose. And if you're not interested in going right into this yin pose, we'll do it 2 minutes, you can always move into an arm balance or an inversion practice. So again, make this about you. So again, if you're in your child's pose, angle to the right, hands are shoulder width, bend your right elbow, it's called quarter dog, place the forehead on the forearm and rest, and feel that whole left side body stretch. If you're doing an inversion or an arm balance, enjoy. You'll probably still notice some heat in the body. Breath moving. Just direct that breath into those areas that are tight, maybe through the whole left side body, maybe into the neck. You're here 10 more breaths, or about 60 seconds. come up. Walk your hands off to the left side. If you're not doing this again, you're either doing the second side of your arm balance or inversion. Otherwise, walk your hands off left, bend your left elbow. Timer's already started. Forehead rests down and move into the side body here. Even in these poses, let yourself sort of go with the flow, the path of least resistance. A lot of our vinyasa classes, I'm very sort of alignment based as far as where I tell you to go. And yin is a little less alignment, more about target area, but also letting your body tell you where that gravity needs to be. About 10 breaths left. About 4 or 5 breaths here. Okay. Now, as you unwind from that, you can take the blanket off to the side for just a moment and lie on your belly. Slide your right knee up like you're moving into a half frog. Reach your right arm forward, slide your left arm underneath, and then as you roll over, you'll move into a nice twist. I'm just gonna give myself some space here. If that didn't make sense to you, it's just a twist. Find your own way into a twist. We're just gonna be here a minute, not as long. So the app I use on my phone is called Insight Timer. It's got that nice bell. Some of you have found it. There's nice meditations and other things you can do on there. Now, as far as this twist, you're in control. So the knee can be down. You can roll the shoulder down. The knee comes up a little bit. It's really up to you. What I like about yin is there's a little bit of being able to think for yourself, think outside of the box. Let's go ahead and roll back onto our belly. Again, it was only a minute. When you get onto your belly, we'll do the other side. Slide the left knee up, half frog. Left arm forward, right arm underneath. Roll onto your left and find your twist. All right. So what do I mean by yin being the pose or the practice where you can think for yourself? Sometimes in our practice, we get very into the alignment cues, like I was saying earlier, which is totally fine and well-deserved. But sometimes we go on autopilot. We don't sort of listen to our body. And I always make the analogy of, when we first learn to drive, we're very 10 and 2 on the handles and looking through all the mirrors, and we're very aware of everything we do. And then after a while, we suddenly just show up wherever we're going. We forgot how we get there. We've been on autopilot. So sometimes when you do the same cues every single time, same thing happens. You check out, you just sort of arrive at your destination without really being present. The yin requires you to be a little bit more present and to make changes. A perfect yin pose for you may not be what it looks like for your neighbor. So you have that ability to make changes, to sort of change it for yourself. Okay, so roll onto your back. You're almost all the way there anyway. So come onto your back. Make sure you've got a little bit of space. I've taken my ponytail out so that my ponytail isn't affecting my neck in any way. I'm going back a little bit to that dynamic movement. So feet are hip width, knees bent, palms by your sides. And we're going to take an inhale, lift the hips and the arms, moving into your dynamic bridge. Exhale, arms and hips down. Make sure you're only looking at the ceiling. Inhale, arms and hips rise. Exhale, arms and hips down. Do a couple more on your own. And then this last one, lift your hips, lift your arms to start, but then bring your hands down, interlace your hands if you can underneath you, walk the shoulders underneath. So taking a few moments here, a couple of breaths, having this be more of a traditional bridge for a moment, a little bit of strength. And then if the hands are interlaced, keep them there. Otherwise, you might just stack the palms on top of one another. Lower the hips down on top of the interlaced hands, and you can stay where you are or bring soles of the feet together into butterfly. Now, my timer is not near me, and I've sort of pinned my arms underneath now, so we're just going to use our breath as our timer. And if this needs to change, of course, you know I'm cool with that, so do what you need. Maybe close the eyes. And let's give ourselves 10 full breaths. And again, my 10 full breaths might be different than yours. That's approximate. About halfway there. Blink the eyes open. You can draw your knees gently towards one another. Heel to the feet, hip width. Slowly lift the hips. Remove the hands. Nicely done. Windshield wipe at the knees a little bit side to side. Pull the knees into the chest, kind of like we began. Split the knees to the armpits, but this time reach for the feet. Happy baby. And we're not going to stay here. We're going to change this within our theme. So hold on to your feet, happy baby, but hold into the right foot as it is. Put the left foot on the ground, so you're just in happy baby on the right side. And I like to nudge the right thigh a little wider. It's not about straightening the leg. We want to keep that shin perpendicular to the floor, so foot above knee, nice 90 degrees. And then we're going to guide that right thigh down into a half happy baby. Now I am going to find my timer, so we'll stay here or take that left leg all the way straight. So if I can get my timer going, we'll be here 2 minutes. I'm going to add some options for you as usual. Okay. So if holding onto the foot is not for you, you can always put a strap over the foot. Or sometimes what's really nice is to take your right elbow underneath the right knee and you kind of scoop it up as you bring the leg over. Make sure you're keeping that foot flexed, and it becomes almost like a reverse pigeon, sort of a reclining pigeon. So you're either in that half happy baby or in this reclined pigeon. I'm going to stay in this reclined pigeon just because I made it here. This feels good for me. If a true pigeon, a single pigeon feels better for you, then just flip yourself over. Otherwise, we're here about another minute or so. Other options can always be thread the needle, which may make more sense for you and the knees or the back. Got about 5 breaths. So in a moment when the timer goes off, if you are doing something on your back like I am, go back to happy baby. So we'll just go back to both feet unless you've chosen something like pigeon pose. Okay. Find happy baby if you're on your back, both sides. Take a moment here. Hold onto the left foot just as it is. Put your right foot on the ground. You can nudge that left thigh a little wider. This is a great pose. You can stay here. Straighten the right leg out if you did on the first side. I'm just going to get our timer going. 2 minutes. These aren't really long holds, but they may feel long if you're used to that dynamic movement we did from the beginning part of the practice. So stay with this half happy baby. Or cradle that left arm under the calf, flex the foot, and you can move into your reclined pigeon instead if you prefer. All of these poses, the main concern is that you don't feel them in your knee. So as long as the hips are doing the movement, the knee doesn't feel strained, everything else is fair game. Ten breaths left, about 60 seconds. Okay, come back. All right. Now rock yourself up. I'm going to use this blanket again, but this is not for everyone's needs. So actually I'm going to give you a couple of options. You can take Malasana. So you can do this on a prop or just sort of seated as I am here. If you have wall space, one of my favorite ways to do this is to take Malasana at the wall. Or I'm going to take frog pose. So this is really nice. You can just let gravity move into the inner thighs. Otherwise, I'm going to take a blanket for under the knees. And we're just going to take basically like a wide child's pose. I'm going to target the inner thighs. We are going to be here a little bit longer, so that may help you to decide which pose that you take. So my blanket is wider than the mat. My knees are wider than the mat. And then everybody's different. So your feet can be together or wide, the hips more forward or behind. It really is personal preference. Okay, I'm adding a minute. So we're here for 3 minutes. That may help you to determine which pose you're taking. And see, once you find your pose, give yourself a few breaths to sort of make any adjustments you need, and then start to commit to stillness. And as we learned earlier, there's an illusion of being still. Things are still moving. Your thoughts, your breath, your heartbeat. So use that movement within to soothe any tension you have in your stillness. You close the eyes, see what you can release just a little bit more. If you have any low back concerns, I'll often put a bolster or a couple blankets under the belly. So those are some other options for you. In whole yoga practice, whether we're in Vinyasa, Hatha, Yin, it's all designed to get our body, our minds free from fidgeting so that we feel comfortable to sit in meditation or contemplation. And so if you find that you're still wanting to move, you still feel unsettled, not ready to sort of just be, then find different ways to make this dynamic. You can use the breath as a meditation. We're almost done, only 1 minute left, 60 seconds. In a moment when the timer goes off, or if you feel ready to move before that, move slow. We've been asking our body to be here a little while. We don't want to make any sudden movements. Protect those joints. All right. So you're going to move as slow as you can onto your back and maybe grab your strap. We'll take our final stretch, but we're moving slow. There's no rush. Strap if you've got one. And we'll take our final stretch. All right. So strap over the right foot, take it to the ceiling, and then you can hold onto the strap, or I like to make a little loop. Lots of different things we can do with our loops. And I'm just going to slip my elbows in so that I don't have to hold the strap. And again, so I don't have to reach for the timer just because I think we're not here very long on these ones. Let's just count our breath, and we'll be here for about 10 breaths. And we're relaxing the jaw, or unwinding, we're moving towards Shavasana shortly. So start to just embrace, embody the idea of Shavasana, of letting go. As we move to the right, my strap is pretty short. So what I'm going to do, you may or may not have the ability to do this with yours, so I'm going to slide it over the right shoulder like a purse. My right arm is in cactus, or it's under my head like a sit-up, Then I'm going to move out to the side. I might even tighten this up just a little bit. So again, this may or may not feel right for you. It'd be nice to have a prop underneath that right hip. And again, about 10 breaths, give or take. Bring the leg up. And then the same thing on the other side. Cross it over, or if you are working well with the strap, you can slide it over the left shoulder, left hand under the head, and cross. I like to put both hands under the head. It just feels a little bit more stable. If you have a wall, it's really nice to press into the wall. Alright, come to center. We'll just finish side 2. So slide the left foot into your strap. Any way you'd like to hold or not hold the strap. Find your breath here. Strap to the left hand over the left shoulder. Open out to the side. Feel free to use the wall if it's near. Last but not least, let's cross that leg over. And enjoy the spinal twist. Yin is all about letting go. Sometimes we don't realize that we're holding ourselves in place. We're sort of resisting our natural urge to release, to let go. And so sometimes it just takes a little reminder. A deeper breath or sort of a mindfulness, meditation, and awareness of where we're holding stress. And take your last breath. So let's go ahead and take our final pose, whatever that is for you. I really actually like this strap, so my final pose, I'm going to take a forward fold. And since I have the smaller strap and it's already looped, I'm just going to do it for my forward fold and show you what I really like for this pose. I'm going to slide the blanket under my knees just because it's there, why not? So I'm going to take my forward fold as a finishing pose. You can choose anything you want. But I'm going to take the strap, since it's already got the loop in it, and I'm going to slide this as I forward fold over the base of the skull. Sort of make this a nice, gentle stretch. But you do whatever final pose you'd like. We'll meet in Shavasana in just a moment. And I have this just barely at the base of the skull. A little bit of traction. Sometimes it slides off. Just depends on what kind of strap you have. Make your way up. If you need any finishing movements, take them. Otherwise, we've arrived Shavasana. I'll set my timer one last time for 3 minutes, just so that we are completely relaxed in Shavasana. You know I haven't forgotten about you. You might even do legs up the wall if you have a nice wall space. So get yourself set, comfortable, relaxed, and really let yourself here release. The body is mostly water, so I like to visualize when I get into this Shavasana and this practice that sort of open up the floodgates and let all the water of the body just melt into the earth where it's supported and stable. The jaw unhinge and relax, the eyes settle. Feel the shoulders get heavy, releasing the neck. Let the hips get heavy, releasing the lower back. Feet flop apart, palms spin up. And we connect to our breaths one last time, subtle movement within the illusion of stillness. Start to move fingers and toes. You can reach the arms overhead, maybe yawn. Begin your journey onto your side. And slowly press up with eyes closed or partially closed. Bring your hands to your heart in gratitude for all the time and energy you've spent on you today. Lift your chest. Bow your head. Namaste.